Yo, what is up everybody? Chris here from Fake Sports News, back at it again with another video. Today I'm going to be bringing you guys yet another report card video. I know you guys have come to love these videos going into the majors. Of course, we're going into Major 4 this weekend. This major is going to be in Columbus, Ohio. There will be no fans, so if you're looking forward to going to Major 4 in New York, obviously if you bought tickets or you're trying to buy tickets, you know that there were no tickets to buy. And the New York event got canceled, so Columbus, Ohio we go. And without further ado, let's kick things off with our 12th seed heading into the tournament, the Florida Mutineers. Now, Florida's a team that you guys know I have been really singing the praises of for a while, but they've just fallen short at every turn. So they went 0-5 this stage. I gave them an F- for stage 4. Enough said there. Excuse me. I gave their teamwork and compose an F- for obvious reasons. They won, I think, 4 maps. Yeah, 4 maps. So just tough. Hardpoint 2-6, obviously that's an F-. S&D 2-6, that was their bread and butter game mode. Also 2-6, F-. And then Control 0-5, didn't win a single one, so that's a guaranteed F-. Florida needs to win this event to have a chance to qualify for champs. So it's safe to say that they're chalked at this point in the season because the likelihood of them winning this event coming from losers round 1 as a 12th seed decidedly is very low. They, like LAG, went 4-15 in maps and 0-5 in series count, so they don't seem to have any dominant game modes like they did before in terms of their S&D. And also they're tied for last place in the standings with LAG and London. So, yeah, Florida's just in a rough spot. I don't really see them having much of a pathway to victory, so we'll just say that they are a one and done. LA Guerillas, pretty similar story. They're coming in as the 11th seed, as you guys can see. They went 0-5 as well, as I just said before. They were 4-15 maps as well, as I said a second ago. So I gave them an F-, similar to the Mutineers. Everything across the board was pretty similar. Their hardpoint was exactly the same, also 2-6. Their S&D was 1-5, so slightly different, actually a little bit just different. Yeah, I mean, fewer reps, 6 versus 8, so make of that what you will. And their control, they at least won one, so they were 1-4. I gave them an F- still. Winning one control is just not going to cut it in the CDL when it's just competitive. So my comments, LAG is chalked at this point in my mind. 4-15 in maps and 0-5 in series, given where they are in the standings, being tied for last place with Florida and London, like I said before, essentially means that there is no way for them to qualify for champs without winning an event, and probably at this point winning Major 4 and 5. And then they'd probably have to go flawless in quals too. Like, they would have to put up close to 100 points probably to catch up with all the other teams that are going to get points. You have to figure that all the other teams that are above them in the top 8 are going to continue to get points at the major, this current major, and then going into stage 5 and the stage 5 major. So the floor might be 200 points by the time we get there. They're sitting at 70. They probably have a one and done this event, so that means they would have to go 5-0. And then they would have to win the event, and even then they'd be at 175. I think you get 65 points for an event win, I'm pretty sure. Maybe 55. So regardless, they wouldn't eclipse 200. Vegas is at 130 right now, and if they make top 6, I believe they get a guaranteed 20 or 30 points. So with that in mind, I mean, it's just increasingly becoming more and more chalked. Minnesota Rokkr is also in the hunt too. They're in 9th place. They're trying to usurp Vegas for that 8th place spot that Vegas just took from them this weekend. So that's another thing that makes it really interesting. There's already a really heated battle for 8th place right now, and I just don't know that any of these teams will be able to insert themselves. Speaking of teams that won't be able to insert themselves into the top 8, we have the London Royal Ravens. They went 1-4. They were the best of our bottom 3 teams in the stage, so I gave them a D in terms of their stage 4 performance. Similarly to their other compatriots, I think it's going to be a one and done at this tournament for them. I don't think that they will be like our next team, the 9th seeded team, and make a meaningful run. So I gave their hardpoint an F-, similar to the LA Guerillas and, of course, the Florida Mutineers. They all went 2-6 in hardpoint, which is kind of interesting. I guess they were trying to say that they're like twinning or something. I don't know. So their S&D I gave a D-. They were 2-3, which is not that bad. They won a couple S&Ds, so that's good for them at least. And their controls are 1-4. I gave that an F-. So yeah, at this point, the Ravens are tied for last in the standings, and much like LAG and Mutineers, seems like there's quite literally no way for them to qualify for champs unless they win one of our last 2 events. And looking at the KDs a little bit earlier, Scraps had like a something, like a 0.9 or something. Everybody on the team has just been having a rough year. So, you know, I'm just hoping that these guys don't necessarily see themselves out of the league because this team didn't work. And that's the case for Guerillas, Mutineers, and Ravens. It just sucks to see guys out of a job just because the lineup wasn't conducive to success. So enough rambling about the bottom teams. Our 9th seed is actually the winner of Major 3. This was a major shock to everybody in the community without fail. Anyone who says they were expecting this is lying. Ultra went 1-4, which is really shocking. I gave them an F- in terms of their stage performance, but it's more like a D+. I mean, they are in losers, so I guess you could say that results and outcomes are the only thing that matter, and excuses only matter to the people that make them. Those are 2 quotes I took from my dad that are just ironclad. They've always worked. But in the case of the Toronto Ultra, there is a little bit that complicates things, and that is their S&D record. Let's get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. Their teamwork and composure, I gave an F because obviously if you're in loser's bracket, a lot of things were going wrong with your teamwork and your composure because you should have been able to close out the series and make it to winners if you won the last event. Sorry guys, my computer shut off. The recording is still in progress somehow. Shout out to the Mac for just being a remarkable piece of machinery for that. So Ultra looked really good in the stage. Their S&D was their biggest issue. If they won even two of the S&Ds that they lost, they'd be in winners right now because obviously in the series where they lost Game 5, which was against Vegas and I believe Boston, I think so. Those two losses that they had that were Game 5s, if they won one of the S&Ds, obviously it would have been a 3-1 in their favor, or it would have been a 3-2 in the case of the Vegas Legion series, or either one of them. If they won a Game 5, obviously, if they won both Game 5s, they'd be 3-2 right now. If they won the Game 2, they'd be 3-2 right now. So the S&D needs a lot of work. Yeah, I mean, don't panic, Ultra fans. You still look really good where it really matters, which is respawn. S&D is something that can be cleaned up, and you can definitely work around it. If you're winning all your respawns, I mean, if you win 1, 3, and 4, you won the series. Like, if you're just slamming kids in respawn, I mean, what could anyone say at that point? Phase 1, Major 2, only winning 2, 3, 5. So, you know, they rarely won hard points in Major 2. So it can be done. You can cheese your way to a major win. I think Ultra are definitely poised to make a loser's bracket run because their respawn hasn't fallen off at all. Their respawn still looks phenomenal. It's just their S&D that can easily be fixed. Next team is Boston Breach, a team that Ultra score up against a lot this year for some reason. Their teamwork I gave a B-. Their composure I gave a C-. The composure wasn't there for me. Overall performance I gave a C-. They went 2-3 this stage, of course. Their hardpoint, I gave F-, it was 2 and 7. Their S&D, I gave a C-, it was 3 and 3, literally mid. And then their control was 3 and 2, so I gave that an A-. I thought their control was pretty encouraging. The reason why I give some teams B+ versus A- in control is just because I feel like certain teams are a little bit more impactful in control. Like when I looked at the Boston Breach player stats, everybody had above a 1.1 in control, so that's why I gave them an A-. I feel like they're a really good control team. Obviously, that chokes in New York was all time. They should be 4-1 right now. It was an 11v3 that they choked somehow. So, yeah, Breach is a great control team. They just troll at certain points. In terms of my comments, sorry about the pop-up. Boston bringing in Kremp for Vivid doesn't seem like it was the right choice based on how their stage ended. They struggled mightily due to the change in pacing with the release of Vivid. Vivid allowed his ARs to play much slower, and that allowed them to play much better as a result. The map isn't as open now that Nero and Kremp are running together. They essentially play at the same speed. So similar to Envoy and Scump and Cold War, I think the issue is that you have 2 roaming Slayers in Kremp and Nero. And one thing that I definitely noticed on the mini-map was when I would watch Boston Breach, a lot of times Nero and Kremp would be kind of patrolling the same areas and playing the same like parts of the map. So I noticed that sometimes with rotations and things, it's not really clear who should be going to push for rotations. I think Boston's just having a little bit of role conflict right now just because there's no clear entry like there was when Reese was on the team. And I think that'll iron itself out in time. Their slang's been phenomenal. Kremp is an incredible Slayer, but I think they just need to figure out a better role for him, and they will definitely be on par to potentially be a dark horse. Minnesota Rokkr, they are the exact opposite of a dark horse to me. I think they're a light horse. Respectfully, I think they're light work for the Thieves. I think it's going to be 15-0 maps and 5-0 series. So DoorDash challenge is in full effect. I'm joking. So Rokkr went 2-3 this stage. They had a D- from, in my perspective. Their teamwork, I gave a C-. Their composure, I gave a D-. And their hard point, of course, is a C. It was absolutely mid, 4-4. S&D was not good, 2-4, and their control was very good. I liked what I saw from them in control. As always, Rokkr's been a great control team no matter what. So they've always looked good in control, and they kept that up. Even with this roster change, this Minnesota team is still struggling mightily across the board. They just lost the AC to Vegas this weekend, and it's looking like the season may be over. Their performances throughout the stage left a lot to be desired, especially in S&D, a mode that this team was formed to win. Like Nameless said on the broadcast yesterday, and this is something that I'd actually forgotten until he mentioned it, this team was concocted to be a team of S&D stars, right? You had Cammy, Afro, Bance, and Attach. All four of those guys are gross at S&D. They always have been. They've also been really good at Respawn forever, but their S&D has always been very, very strong. And we all expected this team to be incredible at S&D going into it. Obviously control as well, just because we figured this team would be a little bit more methodical, with Cammy and Attach having a slower pace, and then Bance and Afro being really quick. We figured the pacing would be really nice, kind of similar to how Optic Texas plays, but it's just not like that. So Minnesota, I don't know what to think of these guys. Their home series was definitely not encouraging for me. They played two teams that went 0-10 in the qualifiers, of course that being the Florida Mutineers and LA Guerillas are two of our low-seeded teams. They played them on the land, they fried them, but of course those guys won 4 maps in the entire qualifier. Each of those teams only won 4 maps. So not a lot of encouraging signs there for the Rokkr. And with that, we'll move on to Atlanta Faze. You guys know I'm an Atlanta Faze fan. I am an Atlantan. I was not born there, but I was raised there. Went to high school, college there, middle school. Spent a lot of my life there, so love Atlanta Faze. Faze up. B+ performance for Faze in this qualifier. I really didn't like what I saw from them. I thought that there was a lot to be cleaned up. They went 3-2, but in this 3-2 lies a lot of very, very unacceptable mistakes, I would say, in certain moments. But everything for me was forgiven when I found out the slasher was sick. If a guy's sick, I mean, you can't give him flack. So teamwork, I gave Atlanta Faze an A-. Composure, I gave him an A+. Hardpoint, I gave an F-. I'm so pissed watching them play Hardpoint. They're 3-6. I just want them to get it together and be, even where they were in Vanguard, where they're just mid at Hardpoint, like, would be better, but they have a losing record right now. So not encouraging, not fun, not having a good time. S&D, A-. S&D fell off a little bit. They were really, really dominant in S&D coming into the stage. They were coming in with a win streak. Obviously, they lost that at Major 3, but they started a new one, and then that got broken as well. So their control also I thought was really good. A-. They've always been pretty much a 3-2 control team, in addition to being a 3-2 qualifier team. They always get like a 3-2 record at the qualifiers for some reason. And then they turn up on the land, so we'll see. In terms of the comments for Faze, fix the hard point, fix the hard point, fix the hard point. Okay, please fix the hard point. Please, please, please. If Faze want to win this event, then they really need to figure out how they want to play hardpoint. Everywhere else they look really solid. If they fix the hardpoint, they can definitely win it all. And Faze's hardpoint is not like abysmally bad. It's not like they're getting stomped every map. It's just there are certain things with rotations and just their late game adjustments that really need a lot of thought and VOD review. So they're not in the worst position possible. If they clean up the S&D, I really think that they have a very good chance to win this event. And they always come in to land like a different team. So we'll see what Faze comes to land, but I think it'll be a demon Faze comes to land after getting kind of embarrassed a couple times in Stage 4. Now looking at our 5th seed, I am elated, ladies and gentlemen. My two teams are 5th and 6th seed. Both of them are in the winner's bracket. Look at us. Look at us. Vegas Legion, you guys know if you've been watching the channel, which like 10 people have been watching the channel since the beginning. By the way, thank you to all the new people who have joined. I've been a Donnie Temp fan literally forever. Ever since I started this channel, I've always been a Temp fan. Even in the AW days, I was a Temp fan when he was playing with Toast. So if you know, you know. I've always been a Donnie Temp fan, and that's why I'm a Vegas Legion fan. As soon as he joined Legion in Cold War, I became a fan, and here we are. So finally, they made winner's bracket. I'm really happy. the Vegas Legion, I always tweeted them, and they always show me love. They're always really cool. So shout out to the Vegas Legion. They're social people. They're awesome. And then looking at Vegas, I gave them an A+. I mean, you could call it bias, but I gave everybody who finished 4-1 or 5-0 an A+. So more on that in a second. But yeah, looking at their stage, I gave everything an A+, apart from their hardpoint and their control. S&D, that was a typo. I meant to give them an A+. I just kept the A- from like the Faze report card. So that was my error. Yeah, in terms of the hardpoint, it was pretty mid. So if they keep that up, then I think they have a really good chance to win this event. Their S&D was flawless. Their control, I thought was pretty good, actually. They played really well in control. They just choked a couple times in very close moments. And Hemi is definitely their control. So if they keep getting Hemi, which eventually they'll get banned because teams will see that Hemi is the only control that they can consistently win. I think they're 2-1 on it. It's the only control they have a winning record on. So I think Hemi will get banned eventually. But Legion made winners for the first time ever, ladies and gentlemen.
Nice. Nice. Made me happy, made me smile. Nice.
I'm so happy. Going into the major with a 4-1 record and victories over Toronto and Boston, the Vegas Legion look like they're poised to make another top 6 run. I need that. Please inject it into my veins.
I need it.
They need more Hemi control in the mix and to stay consistent in the hardpoint to make the run. I think they will get more Hemi control in the mix because it seems like a lot of teams like Hemi just because everybody hated Fortress so much, unless you're Seattle Surge. So yeah, I think they'll get a few Hemis this weekend, but don't count on them getting a ton of Hemis if they win it consistently. If they win more than 1 or 2, I think it'll start getting banned. So we'll see how it goes for Vegas, but I think they make a run. Now our 4th seed, we have the New York Subliners. Shout out to Dempsey. That's his team. And they came out with the win in the stage. I know I said that they would get the win, but hey, you know, somebody's O had to go. So looking at the Subliners, they did really well. They went 4-1 this stage. I gave them an A+. They looked great. Gave their teamwork, composure A+, hardpoint A+, S&D A+, control A-. I mean, they looked really good across the board. Hydra and Kismet returned to form, so did Skies. And that was really everything they needed. NYSL finally regained their footing after having a bit of a rough patch after winning Major 1. Hydra and Kismet have been doing it all for the Subliners. If they can get Skies and Priest to more engagements and they can get them in the mix more often, I think that the New York Subliners will hit their Major 1 levels where nobody could touch them. Their biggest issue right now is that they need to find a pace that gets the ARs more involved and it gets their engagements up. I know Priest was struggling a lot. It seemed like his pacing, like he was just having a difficult time finding his pacing and his spots on the map. And I think that's just a result of Kismet and Hydra finding more comfort on the map overall more recently. And I think it'll be worked out as they get more practice under their belt. Now, our 3rd seed is Seattle Surge. They went 4-1 again. So that's 2 stages in a row where they go 4-1. We'll see if they can make a deep run at this major. I think they will. The last major, I feel like they just got checked after that round 11 loss to Faze. And I can't blame them. I mean, that Simp hip fire cheese was crazy, bro. I mean, I might as well just play the clip. Here we go.
He's holding the line. Nerves of steel. Here comes Simp. Strikes. Somehow stays alive. On the flank, it's Pred. Simp's done it. He finds another outrageous kill, and now it's all down to Simp. Dead silence activated. 20 seconds. He has to recover the bomb. Can he do it?
This is it, dude. Simp, you want to beat the best, you got to be the best. And he just gets gunned to bed, tagged up, 1 shot, no time on the clock, and he's in a pinch.
Here he comes.
Good luck with this.
Here he comes.
Shut him.
The Simp hipfire cheese, the accuracy kill, the Sib. I mean, it was just insane, guys. So, yeah, Seattle Surge, they look great. They match up with Faze in the bracket again. So, round 1, they get Faze again. It's the rematch from literally last event. I don't know how this happened. I literally don't know how this happened, but it happened. So, their hardpoint, I gave it A+. Hardpoint was 5-3. It looked phenomenal. SD was 4-2. It looked phenomenal as well. And their control, I gave it an A+. They were 4-1. The Surge secured their 2nd consecutive 4-1 qualifier stage. This stage was more encouraging for the Surge, in my opinion, because accuracy kept cooking. If Lamar keeps this up, the Surge have a great chance to add some more hardware to their cabinet, and we'll get to hear Pred saying, Lamar, we got another one, Lamar. Let's go. If we get to hear him do the Lamar on stage, I'll be happy. But yeah, so looking at our next team, the LA Thieves, Shout out to Xenon, my duo. I know he's going to be happy seeing Thieves as a second seed. And wish we could be playing ranked right now. He invited me to play ranked, but here I am getting this out for you guys. So show some love. Can we get some ween-ons in the chat for my duo? And yeah, looking at the Thieves, man, they look really good. They're definitely a favorite to win this event. And I gave them an A+. I mean, 4-1 is really impressive for these guys. They've looked really bad online at times. They've had a rough go of playing online. They play from LA. LA internet, as we all know, is not it. So LA Thieves winning in this online split, going 4-1, is amazing for them going into the LAN. A+ teamwork, A+ composure, A+ hardpoint, A+ S&D, and A+ control. Across the board, they just looked great. Everybody was doing their thing. Everybody was contributing consistently. Kenny, Envoy, Draza, Octane, everybody was cooking. Octane has been frying. Draza's been frying. Envoy's been frying. Kenny's been frying. Everybody's been cooking, man. The Thieves dominated in this stage. They looked good across the board. So I don't have any specific critiques for them. They just need to keep doing what they've been doing. Maybe clean up the S&D, I guess. I mean, they lost 2. That's the only thing that they lost, I guess, a lot of, if you even want to say that. I mean, their S&D looked really good to me. Their hardpoint looked really good to me. And their control looked really good to me. And I'm the guy who makes the highlights. So I see everything, you know? So I think the Thieves look pretty good. They got the second seed for a reason. And I think they'll make a good run at this tournament. Now, Optic Texas. You guys see me wearing my Optic Chicago jersey. That was the last time I was a fan of Optic. They lined up for accuracy was the moment where the heartbreak was too much. I had to pack it up after a long tenure, you know? It's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. I've been an Optic fan since 2011, but that was the straw that broke the camel's back for me. I was just like, you know what? I can't keep watching this. So happy to see Optic Texas has finally become the dominant team that we all kind of expected them to be with the roster that they have. Of course, having Dashi and Shotzi, just those 2 players, they're 2 of the best players on the planet. And if you get some complementary pieces like Hook, I mean, Hook is a generational FPS talent. Shotzi obviously is a generational FPS talent. And then Ghosty is just a really, really solid player. So this team is just really good. Like I said to you guys before, when they got more comfort with Ghosty in their lineup, they were going to be absolutely disgusting, and I was not wrong. Now, looking at them, I gave them an A++. They went 5-0. They're our only undefeated team in the stage, obviously. I don't think it's possible for 2 teams to go 5-0. Is it? Because the 2 teams that go 5-0 most likely would have to see each other. But anyways, they got an A++. Their teamwork, I gave an A+. Composure, I gave an A+. Their hardpoint, I gave an A++ because they were 8-0. They were just cooking. S&D, I gave an A+. They were 4-1. And their control, I gave a B+, just because Optic's control has always been their Achilles heel in this game. Optic Texas looks to be the most complete hardpoint team in the game by a wide margin. I'm not sure that their difficulty of schedule really makes this qualifier run as impressive as some would think. I still have them as favorites to win it all regardless, but I have slight reservations just based on the difficulty of schedule. Of course, they went 15-3 in map count. I mean, that cannot be ignored, right? That's significant. They're playing against professional players all the way through. Everybody here is a professional. But looking at the difficulty of schedule that Dr. Doug Lieb made on Twitter, shout out to Dr. Doug. Optic Texas, they played London, New York, LA Thieves, LAG, and Boston. So, LAG and Boston were really, really in rough places this stage. London was a team that went 0-5. LAG was a team that went 0-5. Boston went 2-3. And then you have New York and LA Thieves who both went 4-1, so that's encouraging. But then when you look at a team like LA Thieves, they played Seattle who also went 4-1. I mean, I guess it's pretty well spread out. I mean, who had the most difficult schedule, I guess? Maybe New York? Nah. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, Optic Texas, they didn't have the worst schedule, but they also didn't have, the most difficult schedule. So we'll see. I mean, Vegas definitely wasn't tested. They had some of the worst performing teams in their little Major 4 qualifier run-up. So we'll see how the teams that did really well that didn't get tested do at the Major. But as it stands, I still have Optic Texas as my favorite to win it all. And if not Optic Texas, I think Faze or LA Thieves win it. I have those guys as my top 3. I think Faze, Optic, and LA Thieves, ironically the 3 teams with the biggest fan bases. Fun how things work out, isn't it? But yeah, that also about wrapped up for me, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you have a great morning, noon, or night, wherever you may be on this beautiful planet. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you're brand new. If you missed any matches from Stage 4, I post highlights on this channel every single weekend after the matches. So as soon as the match ends, I try to post the highlights almost immediately as soon as they export from my computer. And then you guys enjoy it. I appreciate all the love on the highlights. You guys have been going crazy. Some of them have been getting like hundreds of views, which is really a lot for me. I'm a small channel, just trying to grow out here. And I appreciate all the love and support, genuinely from the bottom of my heart. I've been at this for 5 years. And these last few months are really the first few where I've had a lot of engagement, and that's been really nice. So thank you to everybody who's been showing love and all the people who have really been encouraging me and telling me that this channel is a great thing that they need in their lives. I'm just trying to be a community resource for everybody. I love this community so much. It's done so much for me over my lifetime. And I just want to give back to you guys as much as I can. So yeah, enough rambling. If you are brand new to the channel, like I said, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope you guys come back for the next video tomorrow, where I will be doing a tier list, so a little bit shorter. And then on Wednesday, I got another collab with Dempsey going live. So you guys know, pull up for that. All the legends, if any legends came over from Dempsey's channel, I appreciate you stopping by. And once again, it's Chris from Fake Sports News. I hope you guys have a great morning, noon, or night, wherever you may be on this beautiful planet. And I will catch you guys on the next video. Peace.